So this past weekend, I had the joy of finally getting to see the long anticipated sequel to Wicked, Wicked for Good. And I have to say, I had a really good time watching it. I actually really enjoyed that darker tone of the film from the first one. Like the first one has like a much lighter tone with like a high school setting, then the ending's really kind of emotional and you really like it. But this is about 5 years later, timeline wise. Elphaba's pretty much outed as the Wicked Witch of the West, and she's doing all that Wicked Witch of the West stuff, and this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, Glinda has pretty much embraced being famous while still feeling the guilt. And something I really enjoy is Glinda wishing she could be magical since she was a kid, and everything she does isn't really that magical. Nice little character moment there. A little flashback to when she was a child, some other stuff. I just think the movie just kind of goes, which is okay. I mean, it's the second act of a big play, and it's the second act of a story. So I guess that's when everything kind of takes place and starts to really start moving, which I genuinely don't think they waste a minute, in my opinion. Like, I think every scene with Elphaba is pretty much important, except for the fact that maybe she definitely gets her back blown out in one point in the movie. After that's the best, that's like the craziest 15 minutes of the movie because there's some Black Air Force energy involved. But it is a little crazy to see that like Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo just knocked it out of the park again. As far as the singing is great, I don't think the songs are quite as good as they were in the first one. Like I don't think any song in this one is as great as Defying Gravity. Then again, Defying Gravity is like fire. So that's neither here nor there. Now, as far as set pieces, still just as beautiful as the first. Some of them a little more immaculate. The practical effects were great. Ariana Grande's physical performance is great, just like in the first one. She really brings it again. Cynthia Erivo does great physically. I know she did a lot of the flying broom stunts while singing and all that other stuff in the first one. She does not hesitate to do that again in this one. Sorry. So I just really enjoyed that feeling of like this is the conclusion and this is where we've gone. There's obviously there's still love there between the two that's explored throughout the movie. Like, okay, you're doing stuff you shouldn't be, but I still love you. Obviously, the world still sees Glinda as this perfect being of humanity, and that could ruffle some feathers, right? The movie definitely tackles the hardship of potentially loving someone that doesn't even really love you back. And Glinda goes through that in the film, and it's pretty frustrating to watch, especially if you know what happens in the first part, which I do. And she's pretty much in love with the guy, but he doesn't love her back. He's in love with Elphaba, all kinds of things. Something I didn't see, and I don't know why my brain didn't click on, is the lion that she saves in the first part is the cowardly lion later. And I don't know why my brain didn't put one and two together when I saw the first part, but it just, for some ass reason, that just didn't click in. And I feel so stupid. But the other parts I didn't know were the other parts I didn't know. Like, I didn't know about the guy who was dating or messing around with the woman was the Tin Man, and I also didn't stop to think that the guy that they were really in love with was the Scarecrow intentionally. So when that stuff started to kind of make sense, I was like, "Oh, that's crazy! That is so. That's actually really cool." Okay, this is definitely its own version of the story. Obviously, like, this isn't the Wizard of Oz story, but it is connected in its own little way. And I just thought that part was really cool. Obviously, her giving her sister the red slippers because she was the Wicked Witch of the East who gets crushed by the house is is really cool. Now, I do love that that part of the movie seems to be where the Wizard of Oz film starts. And obviously, there's correlations between what they're doing and what Dorothy's doing, and I thought that part was just really cool. As a fan of The Wizard of Oz, I could say, like, yeah, I enjoyed that part. And speaking of that part of Dorothy, I do love the fact that they respected the idea of just not showing Dorothy's face. I don't know why, but I do, and I do like that they just didn't do that. They just purposely, but apparently they did it in the play. They don't show Dorothy's face. I obviously have never seen the play. I know Adina Menzel is Elphaba in the play, and she's really good. But I personally never saw the play, so I don't know what they do in the play. The choreography, some other things. It's it's so much well put together. I just don't know if it's as well choreographed as the first one. Like I think the choreography in the first one is really good, really well done, really professionally leveled. The singing, the performance, even from the background people. Whereas this one, there really isn't much choreography because I guess there's music involved, but I guess they're more focused on the overall story and plot of where we're going with music involved. So that's fine. Jeff Goldblum got to sing. I don't know. It's just like I just really enjoyed the film. It just had a lot of the that charm from the first one with that darker tone. And I know between the first one and this one, they did film some scenes for this one while filming the first one. So that actually kind of is probably why I was able to come out a year later. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed this. I'm glad it's doing well at the box office. I'm not sure if it's going to do as well as the first part did because of Zootopia and eventually Avatar and Five Nights at Freddy's and some other stuff. Those all kind of are there now, and they kind of took away from Wicked's insane momentum. And I mean, I could be wrong. I thought Wicked for Good would end up doing a billion just because the first one did so well. Not particularly the case, but I just don't think it's going to be a flop. No, some people are trying to call it a flop already. Not even close. And is the movie bad? No. Just like the first part wasn't bad, and y'all assumed the first part was going to be bad. So, if we're going to be honest here, the movie is really well made. For a play turned movie, this might be the best adaptation. I might be wrong because I still love West Side Story. So, the original, not the one that passed. Even though Rachel Zegler is great, but the original, bro. Come on. So, I don't know. Uh, but it's really not too much I can really say because, like, I don't like spoiling things, and also I am not the hugest fan of like just going to do this kind of movie. So, I just wanted to do it because it's actually a big movie and it should be talked about. And I would love to see this kind of commitment in future musicals and bringing back more like stage settings and things like that for future films. But we will see what the movie industry looks like in the next coming years. It seems like they're really investing in some really great things, and we'll see what happens from there. So, you know, I would definitely say see Wicked for Good in theaters. I would say help it be successful. It deserves the success. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more, and I'll see you on the next one.